Welcome to Going Fishing with Brett Raymer from Tanked. This is episode number 3, and here is your host, Brett Raymer. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, what's up, JC? How's it going?
It's great to see you. Agnes, welcome back.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy to be back. I'm loving this. I'm happy that you called me back.
Well, you did such a good job in episode 1 and 2. We figured why not have you back for maybe even the rest of the way, but we love having you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, JC. I appreciate it.
Hey, why don't you introduce who we have joining us via Zoom as well?
Yes, and joining us via Zoom, we had him on episode number 1. My manager, Mike Skoris. What's up there? Joining us live from New York City.
From snowy, dark, dreary New York. Hello.
That's why we're in Las Vegas.
That's why we live here.
So first off, before we get into episode number 3, what was the feedback on the first 2 episodes for you guys?
Man, I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, I had awesome feedback. Everyone wants the show back. Basically, that's the gist of it. That's what I got.
My inbox, so my inbox has been blowing up. My social media has been blowing up. I mean, it's just crazy. People are like, what's going on? Is something happening? I mean, are you guys coming back?
Yeah.
Something you're not telling us. We love the pod. We love the story. Agnes and I we just want to keep the excitement going. And like I said, you never know what's going to happen in the future.
And Michael, what was the feedback that you got?
All the same. We discussed this in the earlier episode. There was such a following of the show for over the 8+ seasons. And I think us ending a bit earlier than people expected just left people wanting for more. And as they're seeing these podcasts and getting the behind the scenes take, which people always love, they always love that behind the scenes type of stories. Just whets their appetite even more, but it's been phenomenal, like Agnes and Brett have said.
All right, well, let's get into today's episode. Today we're going to break down season 13, episode number 1. The title of this episode, how fitting this week, Antonio Brown's touchdown tank.
Yes, sir.
Now, Brett, for those that are watching who are not familiar with who Antonio Brown and why he's kind of in the news right now, why don't you explain to everybody?
So during the Jet game on Sunday, Antonio Brown decided to just leave the game in the middle of the game in a very unexpected way with his shirt off. Took his shirt off, ran across the field, threw his shirt in, and basically gave the peace sign and said, "I'm out." And rolled into the tunnel. And I heard that he asked a state trooper for a ride, but that didn't happen. Then I heard he called an Uber and then went to the net game. So I don't know, but from what I've been reading, I heard he was on the bench. He was injured and hurt his foot, and he didn't want to go in the game. And the coaches, most coaches say, well, if you're not going to go in the game, you're not going to do us any good here. And he was like, well, in that case, I'm going to go check out my fish tank.
He's out.
Now, back when you guys did your episode, he was playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and now he's currently was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers until this week.
Yeah, he was with the Raiders, I think, in between for a stint, right? He did a little stint with the Raiders, didn't he, for a little bit sometime in between. It didn't last that long. And then went to the Patriots for a little bit, maybe.
I think so. Yeah,
maybe. And then now he's bopping around. He just left Tampa. But from what I also read is that they didn't release him completely. That he's actually still on the roster. And my feelings behind that is because from what I heard is that he was hurt. And the coaches told him, you don't do us any. I think they're still looking into it, but they decimated it at wide receiver. And that guy is still the best at his game. So we'll see what happens. It's not over yet, but he was fun with us. We had a great time with my man.
Speaking of, how are your Chargers doing? Cowboys.
Easy. Easy.
Cowboys.
So Cowboys are doing good. Yes, we're on the playoffs. We won the division.
JC, you have a team?
Yeah.
What's your team?
America's team. The Dallas
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's right.
I'm a little bit of everything. My brother's a Patriots. My sister-in-law's Broncos. And so I'm kind of just floating around. Sometimes I do cheer for your team.
Okay.
America's team. Do we need everyone to get their microphones a little bit closer? We good on audio? Just want to make sure. So Agnes, get that microphone.
Okay. All right. Got it.
Because we have a lot to dive into.
Got it.
Do you know how many tanks that you did for football players?
Off the top of my head, I don't, but I know Adrian Peterson, Marshawn Lynch, Antonio Brown.
The dice.
God, there's some more. There's some more. Who? Oh, no, he's basketball.
Oh, we did so many.
We've done a lot of athletes.
We've
done a lot of athletes for sure.
Now, this episode opens with Brett.
What was that?
The guy from the Raiders.
Oh, yeah, we did Byron Scott. We did Marshawn Lynch. We did a few people.
Got a lot of players.
A lot of players.
Scott, yep.
Oh, Bart Scott, yeah.
With this show, I love the open of the show because the show opens with Brett. You're super excited about the football season starting. I think you say, fall is coming up. You know what that means, Wade? And Wade is like, yeah, it's pumpkin spice season.
Yeah, he has no idea. Wade has no clue about sports.
Is that an act? Is that
No.
straight? Or Wade
No.
really knew nothing about sports?
No, he loves sweets.
He knows nothing about
Zero.
sports. Zero. about
Zero,
sports.
absolutely.
Like the thing is that we would always encompass it into the episodes because it was true.
Right.
Like that
Yeah.
was what the great thing about it was. Like he eventually, obviously as time went on, he knew who Tom Brady was. He knew who the mainstay was.
Yeah.
But if you turned around to him and told him somebody that was not a mainstay person, he was clueless.
Wow.
He was clueless. Like I knew more about it. I mean, this one was a nut when
Yes.
it came to sports.
Well, I
Like,
knew- I knew-
the
I knew a lot
fantasy
of-
football, all of it.
Wade didn't know a lot of the celebrities. I'm going to tell you one time I call Wade up and I'm like, actually, he comes into the office and I'm like, dude, I go, we got a big tank. I go, it's from this famous doctor. And he's like this famous doctor. And I'm like, he's like, doctor. And then I was like, he's like, Dr. Seuss. I'm like, he just starts naming out. And I'm like,
really
he
did.
starts naming out like just whatever doctor. And I'm like, no. I'm like, Dr. Dre. And he's like, Dr. Dre. He really didn't know who Dr. Dre was.
But he likes the music. He just doesn't. He
He doesn't put the two and two together.
He
Yeah.
just does. He just he lives in his own little land. I love
If
that.
you tell
about
him like who Kobe Bryant was, wouldn't know what sport it was. Like, he'd know the name,
Yeah.
but he wouldn't really know what, and all that was true.
And then that's where we came up with the Wadeisms. You know what Wadeisms are?
Go on.
Basically, it would just be words that he would make up.
He would make
He
up
would make
words.
these words up
'Cause
that
he
would
didn't
just
know the
think
word.
that it would mean something else, and it was just a Wade word, and
So
it was
we-
his word. We call it a Wadeism.
Wadeisms.
There's a whole episode that's actually dedicated towards
To
Wadeism.
Wadeism?
Yeah, well,
Oh.
that's another episode.
Yeah, that's another. We'll get to that one day.
We're breaking that one down. So, but at this point in the show, you're doing a lot of celebrity tanks. Now, are celebrities reaching out to you because they really want to tank, or are they reaching out to you because they want to be on the hottest TV show out there?
I think it's a combination of both. I think they definitely wanted an aquarium. They also wanted to be on the show. But a lot of the celebrities, their kids also love the show. And because their kids love the show, they wanted to be on the show as well. So it was just a good time. They just enjoyed the show. The athletes liked having fun.
Yeah.
I think the show brought the athlete down to like just having
Regular.
fun, being a regular
Yes.
person.
Regular person.
Yes.
Like,
And
I
their
didn't-
families tied in. Yeah.
I looked at them as being celebrities, but I also looked at ourselves as being the celebrities that are at the celebrity's house.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, well,
So-
I'm just going to be who I am. So I would go in there and, just be that guy who is, funny and, witty and wouldn't treat them any different and just kind of have as much fun with them as I would with anyone else. And that's what just goes to show you that
Yeah.
they're just people just like us, right? Just because they have a little
Yeah.
bit more money and they have a little bit more fame, just like us. We're just regular people. They enjoy the fun. They enjoy the humor. They enjoyed all the camaraderie. It was fun to film that.
Now, and because you mentioned you just being yourself, you show up to Antonio Brown's house and you get out of your car, you and Wade, and you walk up and you give him a hug like you guys are best brothers and you're long lost friends. And then you're in his front yard and he's got this like football catch machine and you guys are having a catch with Antonio Brown, just having a blast. Do you guys ever have that moment when you're doing the show of like, holy smokes, how amazing is my life? How amazing is my job?
For me, remember Dwight Howard
Yeah.
with the gold medal?
Yeah.
So remember where was that at? Where did we travel to? I can't even remember.
Houston?
I believe so. I can't remember. So, anyways, we went to Dwight. He had just returned from the Olympics.
No, it wasn't Dwight Howard.
Who was it?
Maybe it was Dwight Howard.
Dwight
It might have
Howard
been-
with
yeah,
the
it might have been
Olympics.
Dwight Howard. He could
So,
play
yeah.
basketball in the Olympics. It might have
Yeah,
been him.
but I'm gonna double check it. It is Dwight Howard with the Olympics.
Yeah,
with the
okay.
gold medal.
Yeah.
So literally, he just came back, and he has the gold medal. And Wade, we're shooting.
Oh, no. Okay, so I wasn't there. That was
Yeah, you
Paul, it was
left.
Paul George.
Oh,
That was
Paul
Paul
George.
George. I was gone for
excuse
that
me.
episode.
Okay. So I'm confusing Paul George.
A lot of athletes, so I get why you can confuse them.
No, I know because they're also tall. So literally, I'm like standing next to him, and even
You and Wade went on that one.
Yes.
Yes.
So we're literally standing there, and he comes in. He just came in. He has the gold medal around him, and I've never held a gold medal in my life, and I actually have those pictures there. I'm gonna have to whip those out. Just how funny, how tall he was, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm holding the gold medal.
Yes.
It's insane. I was like, that was a moment for me that's just like, wow, right? Like that's just. I mean, have you ever held a gold medal?
I actually have this past year.
Have you?
No, I don't think I have.
See, one thing I've done that you haven't done yet. Yeah. Woo! High five.
And that one too. I think he had a lagoon in his basement.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
It was just
Yeah,
a crazy
yes,
setup.
yes,
It's a
yep.
crazy setup. So when it comes to Antonio Brown, and you guys walk into his house, did he have the most requests as far as what he wanted in his fish tank? I jotted down some notes. He wanted his number 84 in there.
Yeah.
He wanted the saying "float like a butterfly, sting like a bee." He wanted his "business is booming" slogan in there. The guy literally had a laundry list of requests. Is that the most requests you ever had for a tank?
That was one of the most requests, and he was dead serious about all of the things that he wanted inside the aquarium. We try to accommodate them however we can, because it's like I said, it's something that they want. We always try to. The tank was supposed to represent the person's personality, and what they desire. So at the end of the day, you don't want to be like, well, if that's what you desire. Now, I'm sorry, we can't do that. You know what I mean? So we really tried to create everything that was, that they wanted. So he had a long laundry list, but he's AB. He wants what he wants.
That's I just when you guys were assembling that, there's so many different things that went into it. And one of the focal points of that episode is the deal was you make a great tank. He'll do your touchdown dance for you. How many different touchdown dances were you guys working on during that episode?
Everybody was working on a lot. They were trying. I mean, we were. I'm the worst dancer in the world.
He really is. He sucks.
I'm terrible.
He
I have
sucks.
no coordination.
He
but
sucks.
at the end of the day, is that everybody gave it a good effort. We all tried to encompass something.
Wade's even worse though.
Wade's terrible, but Agnes had some funny ones. It's just the thing is that we always try to do something that was part of that person. And that's what was fun. It was always good after you meet somebody to learn a little bit more about them. I'm sure that obviously Wade didn't know much about Antonio Brown, but when we were able to go there, we were able to really learn about that person and learn all their accolades, learn the things that they like and enjoy, which you don't really get a chance to learn about your celebrity or your friend or, Speaking of football players, when Marshawn Lynch wasn't talking to anyone, remember when he was like, I just came here, I'm going to get fined?
Yes.
He was on our show talking to us, hanging out with us the whole time.
That was he had a Skittles cake.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. So and like I said, that's another episode to get to. But these athletes, they really 98% of the people that we dealt with were attracted to what we were doing. They really enjoyed the aquarium. They enjoyed that we took their personal life and put it into something and put it into an aquarium, right? Who does that before? People do that with their cars, they do it with, their rooms, but they don't do it with an aquarium. So that's why we became popular, because we made people's aquariums, into their personality.
When we see you guys meeting celebrities on camera, and it seems like you're meeting them for the first time, are you meeting for the first time, or did you hang out with Antonio Brown the night before and talk about filming, or is that first meeting, or at least the majority of celebrities, is that first meeting a genuine meeting we're seeing on camera?
So sometimes yes and sometimes no.
For me, more so, yes.
Right.
Yes.
Because
but
what would
not for
happen?
them.
What would happen is once we would get to the location, if we filmed where we went and we knocked on the door for the first time, we had probably pulled up, met Antonio Brown. Hi, how you doing? Right. Introduced ourselves, Brett and Wade, this, that, get familiar, et cetera. Explain to him what's going on, what we're going to be doing. And then we would be like, okay.
Yeah, they had to, mic him up.
Sure, yeah.
Obviously, and all of that.
Yes.
Kind of run it down.
He's not in his front yard
because
with a
he doesn't
microphone
know.
on.
He has no clue.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah.
The long story short is you got to prepare yourself to get to that point. But once you get to that point, it's all us.
That's unscripted after that point.
Completely
because we don't know what these. At that point,
yeah.
there's a basically bullet points, but after that, it is what it is.
Now, we know, obviously we've had planned the aquarium out.
Yeah.
We know where it's going to go. We know what's going to be. Obviously, we've done our homework. A show like this, a building show, you can never do a show like this without preparation.
Yeah.
Preparation is key in a show like this. And that's why when most people don't know this, we went from filming 6 episodes the first season, which took almost a year and a half, to eventually getting down to 20 episodes a year. And then going from 250 days down to like 100 days, So we, as time went on, we really, were able to spearhead it in the right direction. But it took a lot. It really did.
Michael, for you, did any celebrity ever give you any caveats or talking points, or like Antonio Brown's people, did they ever tell you, listen, make sure they don't mention this or make sure they don't do this? Did any celebrities give you like warnings before you guys started to shoot?
No, not really. And I'll go back to the point that Brett and Agnes were making before. It was such a family-friendly show. a lot of the times their kids were fans. I'm thinking about all the celebrities that were on, but there were just as many celebrities that we were in discussions with that to this point haven't made it on or never made it on. Britney Spears boys were huge fans of the show. We were in talks with her for a while to be on. Lionel Richie, Rod Stewart and his wife. I mean, there were so many major celebrities that just wanted to come on. They loved the idea of the aquarium. Their kids loved the show. They wanted to be on. I mean, not only that, but I mean, guys, how many requests did we answer for like Make-A-Wish?
Make-A-Wish.
So many kids.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
There was nobody ever really. I don't think they ever stopped us from saying what we say.
They wanted to be on. They enjoyed it. Their families enjoyed it. So no, I mean, I can't recall any.
And I would never stop myself from like saying what I have to say, just because they were a celebrity. Like I would just, because
we have no filter.
TV. I would abuse his TV. I would feel the people out. You could feel them out, right? You could feel the excitement when you get there, and you could tell if they really want to be a part of the episode by the first reaction. When they get there, like, oh my God, it's good to see you guys. Hey, come on in, like that, But there was a couple celebrities that, yeah, hey, how you doing? Left, and we didn't see him until filming, and you could tell kind of they really weren't into it as much as the majority of them. That was very little, but there was a couple. Not to name a few, but not to name any. But I won't John Wall, but not to name any. But But yeah, I mean Chris Angel, like I said. But yeah, that guy, forget it. But long story short is that. The majority of them were fantastic. They really, really were. They wanted to be.
Yeah, they were fun. I mean, just like in regular life, you feel out at anyone's vibe or personality, and then you can roll with it. That's what we did.
Well, I love your energy, the both of you. When you guys, when I met you for the first time, Brett, a couple years ago, just your energy is contagious.
Thank
I met
you,
Agnes, for the first podcast. I was geeking out as a fan, but also now becoming friends. Your energy is just it's contagious. Now we see on the show, you guys have your morning meetings where you talk about the build, and you come back and you're talking about Antonio Brown's slogans, and you mentioned your slogans. And I have some questions about your slogans. First off, lifestyles of the fish and famous. Where did that come from? Who came up with that slogan? What's the backstory on it?
So, real quick, this is pretty funny. So we had Wade had worked for another company that was called Ampro, and Ampro had these brochures, and on the brochures it had already said lifestyles of the fish and famous, but it had Ampro's name on it. So when we changed to ATM and we got the pamphlets, we were like, oh, that's a great slogan. Let's just put a sticker over this, and then we could use that slogan. And then that slogan became like our slogan. But then like I told you, we looked it up to see if it was around, and then they got to do searches to find stuff that's close to it.
Yeah.
And then Robin Leach, his lifestyles of the rich and famous came up as a patent search, but they let that expire, and it expired, I think, for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And then when we bought Lifestyles of the Fish and Famous, it also pertained to Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous.
Right.
So that was the original name of the pilot, was Lifestyles of the Fish and Famous.
But it was already.
And then the network didn't use it because they would have had to lease it from us, and then we would have owned the rights to the name after the fact. So that's why they didn't use it. But that's how that came about.
Yeah.
So were there other names if they didn't want to use Lifestyles of the Fish and Famous? They immediately went to Tanked, or where did the name come from?
They went to Tanked immediately. That was
and it caught on, and I mean, it's perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was perfect. Like if people at first they were watching it, they were like, we didn't know what kind of show it was, whether it was a drinking show.
They all thought it was like us just being sloppy drunks.
Yeah.
Which there were times.
Yeah. Easy.
Oh, was there any episodes you guys were drinking, getting hammered?
I mean, maybe.
No, after. Don't believe this. No.
A little Polish vodka.
Yes, Poland, we drink a lot of vodka.
You're Polish, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, after we would film, we'd celebrate.
Yeah, we would. We would have a good time. Absolutely.
Who came up with "If you can dream it, we can build it"? The tagline.
I think was it me?
I don't know.
Who?
About that.
I think. You think, right? Maybe. I think. I can't remember, but I think because I started doing more of the marketing. Remember, because I was like the creative butterfly.
I'll be honest. I don't really know where that came.
But I think somewhere that came. Oh, you know where a memory popped up on Facebook today? I saw the drawings. Do you remember that?
I do, but I know I think happened. I think if I remember correctly, remember we were talking like the pizza slogan. Remember, you've tried all the rest, now try the best.
Yeah, something like that.
I think we're trying to find a slogan,
and
I think that somehow we came up with that slogan. But that was our slogan. You know, if you could dream it, we could build it.
Yes, but let me just a real quick moment I had today.
Go ahead, yeah.
So today I very quickly on Facebook, I had a memory pop up from 10 years ago. And it was of 2012 when we had just basically the first season was finished.
Yeah.
I came up because I got more into the creative marketing, like let's do this, let's do that, whatever. I love all that. I'm very crafty when it comes to stuff like that. I love it. So I made up a little a letter for the kids that I had put fish around the border and just wrote, hey kids, if you want, send us in drawings to our shop. This was at the Decatur shop.
I remember that.
Send drawings to our Decatur shop and draw whatever aquarium you'd like or what kind of fish you'd like or whatever, and send them to us. By the end of what we had done, my whole entire wall was filled. We got pictures of this, and then there were so many. We had the whole entire building was filled with pictures
And then it
from
got
kids.
kind of creepy because people started
From-
drawing pictures of me and Wade in crayon.
Everyone! I still have these. I have boxes and boxes of these pictures.
didn't bring these in.
I have boxes. I'll show you. I'm sorry. So I have boxes. We had so many, and then kids would have field trips. We'd go to schools, and we had giant. Everyone would sign them. Everyone would.
Pretty
It was
cool.
just so cool.
Okay,
but
then-
that was a memory that popped up. It was crazy to see that 10 years ago today.
It has to be kind of interesting because you're doing this #1 reality show. I mean, it's the #1 show in the world when it was on the air. But you're also a functioning business. So if I'm a fan of yours, Agnes,
Yeah.
I could send you something. I know. where
Yeah,
you
from
work.
the penitentiary.
Did you
Remember?
get
A lot?
Really?
A lot.
With
I think,
prisoners?
the best artwork you'll ever see.
And they used
Oh
to
my
tell
God,
us,
the
they're
best
like,
artwork.
We love you guys. You guys are making our time fly over here. We watch you guys all
Yes.
the time. They used to send letters galore.
You should see some of the artwork I've gotten from prisons.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring it to you.
Wow.
It's ridiculous.
What's the craziest thing you got then? Stuff from prisoners? Just letters from prisoners?
Well, the artwork that what they sent, like I remember specific, and then kids would actually, there were some kids that were, kids were all different, and some were autistic, some, just normal, I mean, just everybody.
Gifts would just show up.
It literally,
Seriously though,
Yes.
gifts would show, I got,
Good, go ahead.
say it?
Yeah. Say it.
No.
I don't remember. You're looking at me like I
It's
know
a
what you're
little,
talking.
it's a little R, it's a little.
Say it.
X-rated.
Go ahead.
Forewarning, if there's children watching, parents, this is, you can.
So
please
it
step
was
away for a second.
literally the first season I got a box. There's Agnes's boxes for you. And I open it and it was this guy, God, I forget his name. I probably shouldn't even say his name, but anyways, he was a guitar player.
The suspense. Go ahead.
A guitar player that created his own eggplant.
I don't even remember this.
Yes!
Penis guitar?
No, it was
Was it a mold?
it was the actual thing, silicone.
Oh, it's silicone. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually
Of his own stuff?
Of his own.
Yes.
Oh, really? Of his
Yes.
junk? He siliconed his junk?
Yes.
Wow.
And sent it to you?
I don't remember this because that was something.
Yes, it went around the office for years.
Really?
And then we ended up giving it to one of the producers.
Yeah, I think I
Chris
do remember it
Orion.
now. Oh, we did.
And then we turned it into a tank.
That's
Oh my
right.
God.
That's
I
right.
was like, no, this is literally first.
That is a strange gift.
Yeah, that is. That's going to be the
It
honest
was.
gift, I'm sure.
It starts with a D.
Yeah,
But
I think we all got it.
with-
Yeah.
Yeah, I think junk kind of told us that story.
And then it was. I was like, I didn't know if I should be offended or if I should be,
Dude, you loved it.
yeah, and it was so weird.
Offended
I
you?
went to Wade. I go, Wade, I got a dick in a box. I did.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
you legitimately did.
I legitimately did.
Oh my
Justin
God,
Timberlake
so
and
funny.
Fallon stole it from you.
Funny.
In this episode, going back to the Antonio
Yes,
Brown episode, so Redneck misspells, one of the slogans is business is booming.
Oh my God.
And he misspells it. It should be booming with no G. He does it like business is booming.
Right.
Was that a common thing where you start constructing a tank and there was misspellings or errors?
The funny thing is, it's the first time Redneck ever used Google. I mean, the guy can't spell. When does he ever use Google? I mean, he's a redneck.
Checked it and it came up, it was spelled
He
incorrectly.
right, that's my point.
Yeah.
If he would have just went with his
Yeah.
his gut, he would have got it right.
Yes, for real. We have misspellings all the time because we get so busy sometimes. I remember when we had parking spots. Remember,
That's what
they spelled Heather wrong.
We know we
It was
should
Peter.
have we should have had a
Peter,
spelling
no.
bee between him and Wade.
So
That would have been the best episode ever.
The best one. We had our eventually we got our little parking spots, right?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember that? Wait, let me tell you. So instead of Heather, they forgot a letter and it was Heater. She was so mad.
She was, dude.
They forgot
She
the
was
H.
so mad.
She was so mad.
I was dying. I was
She
laughing.
was so
You don't
mad.
know if you know my sister,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And not only that, I think it was my spot, and then I
Yes,
think it was Wade,
in order.
and then it was
And
in
it was in
order. It was
order.
Wade,
Yeah.
then it was me, and then I think it was Dennis.
Yeah, someone
then I
was in
think
front
my
of,
sister
and
threw
then
a fit.
she had to be. I was like the last one.
Oh, so it was like a pecking order.
Yes,
Right,
yes,
right.
yes,
Not
yes.
only was it spelled wrong,
Yes.
The order was wrong.
the order
Correct,
was wrong.
correct.
It was like a double whammy.
Oh my God, Wade got it for that.
I did want to go back to, just real quick, those slogans. Do you remember the slogan you gave your dad?
Yeah, if it's free, it's for me.
Yeah.
Totally.
Oh my God.
That's totally him.
Yes.
Oh my
a
God.
5-finger discount.
This whole episode, the Antonio Brown episode, was just filled with great lines and everything. But so he wanted sharks in his tank. I would imagine having sharks in a fish tank is not an easy thing. Do you forewarn customers when, like, listen, we can do sharks, but they're not going to be easy to maintain?
Absolutely. Like I said, we try to give people the right functioning aquarium. Obviously, we're not doing it just for the TV show. We wanted to make sure that when we leave there, they're going to have a really good functioning aquarium. So he wanted unique fish. So we were, Agnes and Heather actually went and did some shopping.
Lots of
and
fish shopping.
Epaulet sharks. And so we got a lot of bottom dwelling sharks, and they're not really swimmers. And the reason we did that is because the tank wasn't really an oval tank, but it was nice and long, so it did have some square footage. So because it had a nice base area, it was good for bottom dwelling sharks. So we were able to get him some really nice, unique fish for what he wanted.
They're gorgeous fish. Now let's talk about the install, because the tank was it 650 gallons?
Yeah, it was big. It was like 14 feet long, and it was a heavy tank too.
But when watching the show as a fan of the show, I feel like that was one of the most physical installs. At one point, Wade literally has the tank on his back.
Yeah.
You're a sweaty mess trying to install this thing. Was that a really hard install?
It was. It was in Pennsylvania, and the funny thing is that one of my friends who's a monster Steeler fan, big money guy, owns a big business here in town, just sold it for $1 gazillion. He came on that, installed the aquarium with us, my friend Jimmy Colson, because he was such a big Steeler fan. He wanted to meet Antonio
really?
Brown, and he got a chance, and he was working. You'll see him in the video. He was working with us and doing it. But we brought a lot of guys. If you remember correctly, we had to take the actual forklift and actually use the forklift because it got stuck inside the doorway and lift it up to get it in. That's the one thing about our show. You don't get to rehearse the install.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever happens when we're installing, that's what goes on. And literally that was a difficult install. And Wade had some back problems, and that probably wasn't the best for him to do, but he did lift the tank up on his back, got it on the stand.
And they literally, there were times that, they'd have, everyone was working on it with just the cast and crew, but if something happened, they went all night. They went with no sleep. They just kept going.
To get it all installed.
They had to, you had a timeline.
Can't be in the client's house for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
And
and then you can't fly back and forth. So
and you can't keep the production company there because of money. We have to put every time is money in and out. We got to get it done.
Now,
Yeah.
in that episode, we see you, Brett, on the back of Antonio Brown's ATV, racing around. You got Wade on a dirt bike. Michael, as a producer on the show, are you worried when Brett is doing this stuff? I mean, God forbid they get in a wreck, and you'd have Brett that would be hurt, but then also, God forbid something happens to Antonio Brown. All of a sudden, the star receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers is down because he was horsing around on an ATV. Did that stuff ever worry you?
no.
You know what? Initially, you think about it, but after a while, it was just everybody loved it. It was just a part of them. They went out, they had fun. It was a real enjoyable part of the show. I remember, doing that with Shaq, would take the guys out with Hasselhoff. They always did it. It just became a part of the show. It became a part of the routine, and people love to see that. They love to see, Brett and Wade and Agnes and all these guys with the celebs just having fun, letting their hair back, having a good time. And you just got to let it go.
Yeah, these guys did more. The funny thing is that these guys had more toys and did more stuff outside of us, outside of the show anyway. They were the ones like, hey, we got some toys. Can we get them on the show?
Yeah, they were like Segways. Remember Segways first came out?
Yeah.
Remember? Or just even when we had the guys from
2 Chainz. What about 2 Chainz? He had his thing. He took us driving in his cart. I mean, they always wanted to take us on something, whether it was a bike, a car, or this or that.
Johnny Knoxville when they did the pranks. Remember you guys were in the shopping cart?
Yeah, that's another episode. Frankie broke his arm.
He did. He just broke his arm.
Really?
Yeah.
Talk about that another time.
But I think that shows the love that people had for the show and for you guys is that you would show up at these celebrities' houses, like you said, and you were celebrities in their eyes. They were excited to have you in their homes.
Which was nuts to us because we were just like, holy, it was weird for us.
When we created the show, the number one thing when I came to Mike, I always told Mike, I said, the one thing about public aquariums, they never close, right? You never see a public aquarium close and they just keep opening and opening. Why? Because people love to watch fish. So at the end of the day, when we're building these amazing aquariums and we're putting in these gorgeous fish into these people's houses and bringing the ocean, we always used to say, bringing the ocean from from outside into your home. And people used to be so enthralled by what we would do and see these fish. It couldn't help but bring a smile to your face.
It's mesmerizing, and when we did the beauty shots of the fish, the colors. I mean, they're beautiful,
gorgeous.
They're gorgeous,
And I think we surpassed people's expectations. I think people would expect something, and then they would see when we were done, and they'd be like, "It's unbelievable! I can't even begin to talk about how amazing it is," because we would just. Like I said, it was just an extension of them.
And then it got to be a high for us because we literally started with zero, and then we all worked together as a team, and we had this finished product at the end, and it was just it was an accomplishment that we all put it together, good, bad, and ugly, fights and things. But at the end, there was this beautiful tank and just so many memories that came along with it. It was an accomplishment. Yeah. So that was the high. We wanted to keep going.
It's artwork, and I'll tell you, I geek out when I actually, because there's a lot of those tanks here still in Las Vegas. Yeah. I was at Holy Sheets.
Yeah.
Yes. They've got a new location, and I walked. The first thing I did when I walked in that store, it's on Eastern.
That one. Yep.
I walked in. I said, "Where's the tank?" And it was right there. And I'm like, I'm geeking out. I was like, "This is the tank." I mean, the tanks themselves are stars as well.
Yeah.
And it's so neat to see one of your builds in person and the stuff you did on those stuff. It's just it's artwork, is what you guys.
I was just there because I was at Freed's for a lot of cakes, and we just did that Freed's tank. Yeah. Remember when we did that?
Did a Freed's tank?
Yeah. There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot in Vegas that we've done. A lot all around that are still up and running. Obviously, the show's been on for 10 years plus the time that's expired. So I'm sure some have gotten taken down. But for the most part, like I said, I still speak to a lot of the celebrities, and a lot of them still have their tanks.
I've got two more questions regarding the Antonio Brown episode. First off, you guys was a successful build. You showed him your touchdown dance. Did he ever do the dance when he scored a touchdown?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so. I mean, I didn't catch any. We're not big Steelers fans, but Cowboy fans over here. So
that's right.
He said he was gonna, but then again, not really too sure.
Michael, do you know any? Can you speak to that? Did he actually do the dance?
I don't know, but I have to say he was such a good guy, and he really is a man of his word. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point he did. But can I say 100% no? I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Then my last question is, so apparently Antonio Brown, after you guys installed a tank, he had a second tank built in his home, and he had piranhas installed. Was that you guys or someone else?
No, that was someone else.
Because that went south badly.
Piranhas?
Some stuff went south with that one.
No, that wasn't us.
Piranhas you don't want to play with.
Yeah, that's what Google it, Antonio Brown piranha tank. It's a bad story. It didn't sound like one of your guys' builds.
Well, that's because we didn't build it.
Exactly. Do you guys have anything else you want to add?
No, I just think it was a fun build. It was a fun episode. He's an amazing athlete.
Yes.
I hope whatever happens in the future, he works it all out. Like I said, but at the end of the day, couldn't have enjoyed working with him more. Being an NFL guy, loving it, my favorite sport. Being able to catch passes with him in his front yard, being able to actually meet him and get a couple of tips from him in general was just great for me. So I really enjoyed the episode. It was fun. And being able to show Wade, Antonio Brown is another athlete, that because we've got so many athletes, I got to teach him about all these athletes.
Educate him.
So it was great.
Yeah, we educated him about athletes and dancing a bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it was a win-win for everyone, I think.
Well, that'll wrap it up for podcast episode number 3. Episode number 4 next week's going to be very special. We're going to talk about Betty White, a very special build you guys did, and we just lost Betty White, so that'll be coming your way next week. And that'll do it for episode number 3 of Going Fishing with Brett Raymer from Tanked.